evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. I hope all is well and safe with everyone. So we will go into our open session this evening, asking for approval of the agenda. Any additions or deletions? Yeah. Any disclosures of interest this evening? We have no delegations. So we'll get right into the resolution. (313-20) moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor McGrath, that the minutes of the special council meeting held November 9th, 2020 be accepted as circulated. All those in favor?
Yes.
Resolution number 314-20 moved by Councillor Staffier, seconded by Councillor Morrow. The minutes of the Council and Committee of the Whole meeting held November 10th, 2020 be accepted as circulated. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. He just fell down. Resolution number 315-20 moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that Council approve the purchase of 4 6,000 PSI compressor cylinders from AJ Stone Company Limited in the amount of $7,996 plus applicable taxes and freight. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Resolution number 316-20 moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor Staffier, that Council authorize a donation to the Agri-Solvent Golf Club in the amount of $1,000. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Resolution number 317-20 moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor McGrath, that bylaw 4040-2020 being a bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement between the Township of Schreiber and Her Majesty the Queen in Wrightham, Ontario, as represented by the Minister of Transportation, be given first, second, third, and final reading and enacted. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. this to a close, the council portion of the meeting. Move into committee of the whole with first report, Scrivener Volunteer Fire Department, rescue truck replacement.
And so the recommendation here from Fire Chief is to enter into a lease agreement with Fort Garry Fire Trucks for the use of the 2007 American LaFrance Rescue Pumper Truck.
I think this all sounds really good. Yeah.
You've been looking for a while, Jack.
We have, you know, and it certainly would meet the needs of the community
Yeah.
and the budgetary needs of the community.
Anybody have any objections?
No,
I think it's,
I liked it too.
yeah, it
Like
seems
you
like
said.
it's too good to be true situation.
Well, that's why we're gonna, that's why we're gonna test drive it.
I think it's a really good plan.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole purpose of that reserve fund,
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Trying to save for a brand new one.
in another 10 years,
Yeah, if you ever get there.
if you ever get there.
This is just Class A pumper?
Yeah, this is replacement of the rescue truck.
Right.
Yeah, so that we can properly plan for the replacement of the pumper down the road.
Okay.
I say go for it.
Everybody in favor of that then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Very good.
Jan, I have to say, that's a very good report. I had no problems following it. It's an unbelievable report, and have no problem with that at all.
Thank you.
Yeah, you mapped it out really well, John. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Good work, John. Thank you. Next up, the treasurer report. Copier,
Here's a recommendation to accept the proposal from Lowry's for the lease of a Canon IRC 5550, and that the treasurer be authorized to sign the lease agreement. It'll be a 5-year contract at $2,300, roughly $2,300 per year.
any questions on that?
What's been in use the last couple, 3 years?
Canon, we've been with Lowry's for decades.
Okay. Yeah.
Exemplary customer service.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
like,
again, a straightforward report.
yeah. Sounds like they show up when you need them to.
Yeah.
Everybody in favor of that then?
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
good.
Yeah, I
Good.
agree with that.
The appointment of the auditor for 2020 to 2024.
Here's another recommendation, that the proposal from Grant Thornton for auditing services for the fiscal years 2020 to 24 inclusive. It is an average increase of 2.1% per year and an overall increase for the 5 years at 10.58%.
There again, we've used Grant
That's in-
Thornton for a number of years.
That's in Thunder Bay?
Says 30 plus.
And I see they're well used, over the North Shore and Thunder Bay.
Very well respected firm.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't see why we would want to go elsewhere.
Right.
Why take a chance?
Exactly.
They know us very well, and we know them very well. Any objections then?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Next up, Director of Operations, the sewer plant electrical assessment.
So again, over here, the MCC panel and other electrical connections and switches are getting corroded. So an assessment done on the whole property would really help confirm the condition of all electrical wiring and controls. The recommendation from the Director of Operations is to approve the expenditure request from Aqua to complete the electrical assessment at the cost of $23,330.
It must be done.
Okay.
Yeah. Certainly not something we can afford to lose.
Is this Aqua's decision or?
Or not, no, it was their recommendation.
Did they bring in an actual electrician?
I believe so.
Well, on what basis?
Well, that's
They brought in an actual electrician, right?
Well, I called an actual electrician to have a look at it. He couldn't do the scope of work that these guys could do.
So Aqua does it?
Aqua actually doesn't, they have automation now come in and do it.
Oh, okay.
They have electricians,
They're,
Yeah.
they're professionals.
Yeah, okay, I didn't want the local guys to just start rewiring the place.
Well, we
Okay.
asked Red to do it.
No, okay, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a very important part of our plant. So, well, any other questions? Doug, do you have a?
No, I don't know, I was just, wondering how that all came about, you know?
Right, it's we've noticed for some time that the MCC panel was failing, and
Yeah.
it reached such a point that, especially now that we're looking at, again, these wastewater treatment plant upgrades, this is actually the perfect timing to make sure that whatever upgrades we look at for the electrical are done in a way that it works with the UV system that we want to install. So, you know, we'd be killing two birds with one stone looking at this time.
Fits into the overall plan for this facility.
So there's a pretty short time frame.
There is a pretty short time frame. So they want to do the assessment as soon as possible, and that way they have the whole picture kind of laid out for them, and with regard to which approach they want to take when it comes to, again, upgrading that the UV there and getting our electrical up to date. Red, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to that.
No, not at the moment.
Okay, everybody's in agreement with that? We're good. Alrighty, so next up is our Economic Development Manager report, our investment attraction consultant.
So just to get a briefing on this is a $60,000 project. It's budgeted under our community revitalization project, and it will be funded by FedNor. And the whole goal with this is to create an investment attraction plan that has the goal of looking at ways to bring in population growth, residential development, small business development, industry attraction, and tourism development, and especially expanding upon the Discovery Center as a major hub in our community in order to do that. So altogether, again, this is a project, it's being funded $60,000. What we can cover in terms of the entire scope will depend on what we get in terms of bids. But again, this is a good project that we wouldn't typically have the chance to do, but fortunately it was put in with our community revitalization project.
And there's gonna be, from what I understand, this grant, spending
Yep.
of this grant, there's gonna be a lot of input from the community. It's not gonna be just somebody coming in and developing a plan that they think will fit for Scriber. It's Scriber residents providing input.
Yes, that's always good, especially if in terms of looking at the methodology to award it to a bidder, that's something we would look at, right? Their methodology and how they determined the data for, again, action initiatives when it comes to marketing our community. And part of that would be, again, data collection from our residents, whether it's their opinions on what sort of businesses we need, what sort of businesses they'd like to see. That's something that we also tend to ask when we do our budget survey. But yeah, certainly.
And I think this is part of the long-term plan where we started out how many years ago. how do we attract people or businesses? Well, at the time, the first thing we had to do was clean up the town. You know, we had a lot of derelict buildings, a lot of vehicles, and that was the first step. The second was to get these projects that we are now involved with, the Discovery Center on the highway, and next year the revitalization downtown. So I believe we're at the point now where we have something that we can go out and offer. You know, we're doing our best. We have attractions here, and I think to try to do this 5 or 6 years ago wouldn't work, because we really didn't have a whole lot of in the community to attract
Or the market.
to market. So, you know, I like I say, I believe it's a long-term plan, and we're at the point now where I really believe this is going to be good for us. And looking forward to what their recommendations will be.
Yeah, exactly. We talk about things to get tourists coming in. You're definitely the Discovery Center. We're going to be completing the pavilion next year. We worked on, again, the upgrade to the E6 Trail. That's another tourist attraction. Scriber Beach continues to be on the top of the list for a lot of people in terms of an attraction. So there's a
And the
lot
murals.
that we want to
And
market.
murals, yeah.
Yes, murals.
Local artists.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you bet. I personally think it's very good, and it's funded, so, you know, why not take advantage of it? Okay, next up is the ECDev committee meeting minutes.
Yeah, I can do a little small report here. We had a meeting on November 17th, and it was a while since we had a meeting. So there was a pretty lively discussion going on. We were catching up on some of the things that were going on in the community. The A6, we were brought up to date on the A6 upgrade, and that's been pushed over to the new year. 300 meters left to be completed. Scriber promotional video is another thing that's being worked on, and just looking for some ideas on creating a video to promote Scriber. And we also talked about the community improvement plan and what we're going to do going forward, how we're going to get that up and running, and one of our members will put together a draft to present to council, so council understands, you know, what the options are. It's going to be, I mean, it's going to cost money. Everything costs money these days. But it's you don't have to do it all at once. You can do it in stages. It'll be definitely a budget item. So lots to talk about there. And we talked about the murals. We talked about the Discovery Center, how that was coming along, and the downtown revitalization project starting in 2021. So lots of good stuff going on in town. Strategic plan, and you touched on that, and Dave, you talked about it. So we're moving forward. And also at the end of the meeting, there's members talked about some other things that we could probably get going that we don't have, you know, that we haven't tried before, and opportunities to bring in some extra people, some people into the town, raise some funding. So we talked about that, trying to think outside the box. So it was a very lively discussion.
That's good.
And very worthwhile. So
Yeah. Things are moving ahead.
yeah.
I think so anyway. Yeah, very good. Thanks, Dan. Rec program report on public skating and shinny hockey.
All right, and again, these reports were put in before we moved into Code Yellow as of Monday. My recommendation would be that we revisit this once we go back into Code Green. Right now, I'm still trying to assess how quickly the numbers are keep increasing in terms of cases, and I want to make sure that, again, our residents and staff are as safe as possible with regard to any municipal operations, to make sure that our liability is as low as possible.
Yeah, I guess the next couple of reports we should actually, wait to see what's gonna happen in the next few days, right?
Yeah, in light of everything that's going on, like, I don't think I'd push forward with anything right now because, it's so easy to get a case and all that, and, we don't know what's going to happen over the holidays. We're going to get an fluctuation of people coming home for the holidays, and I wouldn't have the programs running. I don't think right now. I would revisit again for sure after the new year, after it fizzles out a bit.
Yeah. Everybody kind of in agreement with that? Yeah.
I think so.
Is the arena in use at all?
It is.
Has been, yes.
It has been.
Yep.
But we don't know for
So you're talking about reducing that?
No, it's just opening up a couple more little programs that I think we should hold off until the new year and revisit it then with COVID spiking up the way it has been.
I think the point being, if it gets much worse, we may be forced back into another shutdown. So to go ahead and approve a couple of little programs that might only last a couple of weeks, I think it's more prudent to wait and see just what's going to transpire over the next little while.
Right.
Okay, number 9, festival committee report.
Yeah, I can give another report on that one as well.
You're a busy man.
Hey, non-stop action. So we had another good discussion with our small committee, always looking for new volunteers. But we trying to come up with some ideas on what we can do going forward to keep busy with recreation and trying to keep people as busy as possible during these concerning times. So a couple of ideas, decorating the Christmas tree contest. People are pretty busy decorating their tree and trying to make their house look good. So we just thought it'd be a contest if people want to send in pictures of their tree, and of course we'll judge them, and there'll be prizes. And the other thing was that if we're out this year picking winners of house decorations, that we may want to take pictures of the winners and post them so everyone can see who won. Also, we talked about a hike to Christmas tree, and I mean that's an outdoor activity, and I'm not sure how concerning that is, but it's something we could talk about going forward for sure. And so I mean that's, if we do go ahead with that, it's going to require a few volunteers. So. And at that meeting, the last meeting, we judged the Halloween costumes that were submitted, and we picked winners in all age groups, 6 to 10, under 5, 18 and over, and the family winner. So I mean, there was some pretty good participation in that. So good, very good. Yeah, that's what it.
Thanks very much, yeah, I appreciate that. We need to continue on, as tough as the times have been. Good ideas for things that we can do and things we can bring up later down later on the road.
Yeah, for sure. One thing we want to do, I forgot to mention, was we want to run the Smartest Citizen quiz again. I mean, right now the Smartest Citizen is Kevin Mullins, and we want to see if there's anybody else smarter in the community, so.
You hear that, Mooney?
I've been thinking of bowing out of that, you know, to give people a chance. To be honest, let me say it on here, I lucked out.
Okay, we'll take that.
We'll take that one.
You didn't have to say that either.
I lucked out, believe me, I'm not the smartest citizen.
That sounds good, Dan. I think it went over well.
I would recommend other people doing it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, for sure.
It was just an adrenaline rush. It was a lot of fun.
Well, if you'll coach me, Mooney, maybe I'll go in next time.
There you go.
Phone a friend.
Yeah. Okay, next up, I guess, is our bylaw enforcement report.
We're waiting for Dave.
Right. He's chairing a meeting.
That's a good idea, that.
In terms of where we were going with this bylaw again, was just to make things a lot more straightforward and easy again for us to process any any sort of violations and also parking bylaw. The old one we had was over 30 years old, so there was lots of things that we had to update.
Yeah.
Where does this number come from? Bylaw 88-26.
That was
What's the logic behind that?
That was the 26th bylaw in the year 1988.
Ah, who knew?
Yeah, so there's two recommendations here. Recommendation that Scriber repeal and replace bylaw 8826 with the draft bylaw provided, and that Scriber approve the list of set fine amounts for the violations as provided. Are there any questions when it comes to this new parking bylaw?
I have one question on page 3.
Yep.
And right at the bottom of that page.
I was about to ask that.
What's that?
I was gonna ask something about that too.
Yep.
Yeah, just it's not really clear, like, what can you clarify the dumping of objects or accumulation of material? Like, how do you measure that, or what?
Right. This is referring to, I'll go to the section in the bylaw, I'll let you know which page. It is on page 4 of the bylaw, and it's section 8, objects on the roadway. It says, unless otherwise authorized, no person shall place or store any object or accumulation of material, including snow or ice, upon a roadway.
Yeah, so how do you determine if you're in violation? Like, you know, is it a couple of shovelfuls of snow, or a truckload of snow, or like?
Right. In most cases like this, if there is, would you say, repeat violations, we're talking about, you know, circumstances where someone may be using like a snow blower to deliberately blow snow onto the road.
Right.
Or and generally the route we take is we do give warnings before we issue any fines, stating that this is again something that's inconvenient. We don't want the snow or ice to harden up and then cause issues when our plow is going over the roads. That is again the main concern with snow or ice. we're trying to clear it off the roads. We don't want anyone putting more snow back onto it. And ultimately, any objects or anything we put on the road, it becomes a liability issue for us, because we're ultimately responsible for ensuring that that road is safe to drive on.
Some people may, and I've done it myself, is, you know, the snow plow's coming
Yeah.
in a couple hours, so you just dump it all over on the other side of the road. And, you know, that's just something that jumped out at me that,
Yep.
anyway, while you're on page 4, I wonder if you could clarify number 10, parallel parking,
Right.
especially clause.
Parallel parking, this is just saying in general, on-street parking, any on-street parking anywhere is going to be considered parallel parking. The only differentiation is the angle parking, which we list in the schedules. You can angle park at certain locations as listed in the schedule. So that's really the main
Right.
difference.
But this first item here, item number 1, it's pretty specific on how you park, like
Yep.
5 inches from the curb.
Right.
The front wheel and the back wheel have to be 5 inches from the curb,
That's
so
correct.
it just seemed,
That is something where a lot of other municipalities too are quite strict on. Some people who've got tickets in other municipalities
Yeah.
for that. Basically, it's saying that the car should be reasonably
close as you can get to the curb,
as close as you can get to the curb.
Yeah.
Exactly.
and don't park on the sidewalk.
Don't park on the sidewalk and don't park
In the middle of the road.
in the middle of the road.
All right, okay.
There's not too many curbs downtown.
No.
No, that we have to worry about.
Yeah. All right, so maybe you have to make a reasonable attempt at
Yeah,
parking as close as you can to the curb.
because that's like half a foot, right?
Yeah.
It's quite a bit.
Right, okay.
So do we have to say yea or nay to the recommendation of the piling of the objects? Because it says it's recommending a set fine, so it'll be included on this list of fines then?
Exactly,
Okay.
it will be included on there. The main thing again for objects is it is a major concern, especially, and like you're saying amounts, we're not concerned that, there's a little bit of mud or something running off of your property. We're talking about like someone doing a construction pile or something on the road where you have your bricks delivered or something, right? It's a municipal right of way. We have to make sure that it's clear for and safe for people to pass on, otherwise we could get sued. So that's where it's important to make sure that it is cleared at all times.
It's unfortunate. I mean, I don't believe anybody here is interested in fining the public. That's not the intent here. It's some people who just, don't think that it's that important, or they continue to do it, and we have no recourse. We can say, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, and there's got to come a point where we can take it to the next level.
Yeah.
We certainly don't want to do that, and I don't believe that's the intent of this, but now we do have, that in our, that we can tell them, okay, then you've been warned enough, now there's going to be a fine.
Yeah.
And
Just asking
hopefully it never comes to that, but
Just asking people to use a little common
that's
sense.
all, exactly, yeah. And let's face it, 95% of the people probably do. Okay?
Yeah.
Next one up is the wildlife bylaw. Pretty much the same thing, right?
Same thing. This is a recommendation to approve the list of set fine amounts for the violations as provided.
Exactly the same thing. We don't want to fine anybody, but we have that in our at our disposal if we should have to. Any questions on it?
It's more or less if you think that this is a reasonable number, right, so.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, question period.
But there's another,
Sorry, sorry. forgot
Very bottom.
that. Capital borrowing requirement estimate.
So, this much wasn't any sort of recommendation, but was there to answer everyone's question when it was brought forward, what is this wastewater treatment upgrades going to do to our sewer bills?
If we were not able to
Secure
secure the funding,
financing or funding?
and if we had to go and borrow it, what would that mean to our community and to our taxpayers? So obviously, we're going to try to avoid that at all costs. But it just brings to light what it would mean to us, and it certainly isn't very good.
No.
So we are certainly going to try every avenue that we can to secure whatever funding is available. Michael Gravel, our MP, is on it, and so is our MPP and our MP Patty Hydu. She has already sent off a letter to different officials on our behalf, and Michael is doing the same thing. So we will keep everybody updated, but this is just an information to understand the severity of the situation should it get that far.
Marlene, is there anything you wanted to add?
Nope, just if anybody had any questions, again, there isn't any kind of decision making at this time on amortization or where to, if you are in the position that you do have to do the capital borrowing, where to borrow from. This is just to give you an idea of how the planning has gone in to the 2021 water and sewer rates. So this is, obviously it's a significant, has a significant impact to the increase to your sewer rates, because you're putting like approximately $1.5 million worth of investment into where really you have to do it based on no choice. Your effluent dechlorination upgrades are a compliance issue, so you don't have a choice but to do that. And the electrical assessment on the MCC building is an ESA requirement. At this time, it's not a compliance issue, but if you don't do that and do something about the upgrades to the building, you will likely face fines. So there really isn't any choice in whether or not you do the upgrades or not. It isn't something that you have any.
We have to do it.
You have to do it. So everyone should be prepared at this point in time for an increase to the sewer rates.
In terms of a special council meeting, we'd like to discuss the sewer rates, if possible, sometime next week. We're thinking about December 1st as a potential date.
Next Tuesday?
Yep, next Tuesday.
What time?
Right. What time would be most convenient for you?
I'm done at 2:40,
2:40?
so I could be here within 10-15 minutes of that.
3 o'clock?
Yeah, 3's fine.
3 is fine, okay. 3 o'clock on next Tuesday. You ready?
Okay.
Alrighty. And next up, I guess, is question period. Any questions, anything over online from anybody?
No questions.
Communications, anything that you'd like to touch on?
Not really. Lots of correspondences over cannabis legislation. That's something that we already covered and we're done.
You wanna go
We're
back?
good.
Right on. Okay. Our unfinished business and meeting Owl Pro.
Right. This was something that council had looked at before, but again, because we're now more so than ever relying on our webcam, I thought I'd bring it up again. The cost, including shipping is free, so the cost including taxes is going to be $1,580.87. I don't know what your thoughts are with regards to getting this device for our council meetings, potentially for streaming. Dave's shaking his head.
I think it's all good.
I mean, it was, it was brought up that could we do things a little better here, and someone mentioned moving the camera that way, which I'm fine with that. Now I'd be in the background.
Is this, Don recommended this a couple of years back? Is this what he was talking about?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a recommendation. It was
Well,
brought
it's just
forth as
discussion.
an option, yeah.
Like
And
this unit here picked up where the sound was coming from, and the camera would go that way.
as soon as you started to talk, it would point to you.
Right,
Okay, and then if I started to talk, it would point to me, but at one time,
right,
like, the whole table is up on one corner of the screen, I believe,
yeah,
and then as you spoke, it would focus in on you.
right.
But for $1,600, what's your feelings? If you don't think we need it, that's fine. It's just something there again.
Why have we been having issues with this system here now?
That's not so much issues.
On occasion.
Yeah,
Oh, in terms of the issues for the live streaming, that was again
Yeah.
YouTube key got updated, and then also our streaming software looks like we had to specifically change how we do that. We had to log in to the meetings log in on YouTube, and then stream through our streaming software. So everything
that's-
should be working now.
That's
No
what's
problem.
going on right now. Well, that's, I guess, if it works, it works.
Yeah, I'm okay with the way it is. I don't think, has anybody been complaining about? other
no,
than-
I don't think, I think just the fact that sometimes it went down and.
Yeah, but other than us being on camera and speaking, everyone can hear us
Yeah,
and see us, so there's no complaints.
the vast
on that.
majority of people don't have an
Yeah,
issue, you know.
yeah.
Some people would like it to be a bit more clear.
Citizens might want to see Scriber Smarter Citizen when he speaks, so I don't know.
Well, if everybody's fine with the way things are, I mean, there again, just a recommendation,
Yeah.
and if everybody's fine with the way it is,
I think it's good.
yeah. Okay, Nathan, thank you for doing that for us.
Yep.
Next up, the resident Christmas decorating. Last year we handed out 20 cards with $25 prepaid.
Was it 20, Dave?
Yeah. This year, a suggestion, if we're going to do it, we should go around and decide who, but then nail them out. I mean, instead of going door to door, right?
Yeah.
Good idea.
Considering things that are happening.
Yeah. Oh, we can take a picture,
Yeah, take a picture and then,
post it.
yep, and send the recipient the gift card. Is everybody okay with that?
I'm good with that.
We can maybe choose a date to do that at our next meeting in December. Alrighty? Good.
Okay.
Lease agreement for Manitoba Street. Nathan?
So the gist of this is, again, we're looking at another mining company coming in to use 127 Manitoba. We had previously declared it surplus. I was getting ready to sell it. They got in touch with me and let me know that they were really interested in renting it. What we're looking at here is a $1,000 a month plus utilities. And this is, again, for a 6-month period commencing October 1st and ending March 31st, with a possible extension to August 31st. Are there any questions or concerns about it?
Sounds pretty good.
Sounds good.
Is this the same people that left all the core sample boxes outside?
This is another party. They own the former party's core samples now. So
Well, I know I'm talking about empty boxes there outside, but,
There's been a change in ownership, so
yeah.
they have to deal with the stuff that is there outside there.
Well, this is good, they're still looking.
Yeah, for sure. That they want to stay in the community for at least 6 months, or, you know. I think it's just good news for all of us.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Well, and I guess just before we go to adjournment, for those who are online, I would just like to say thank you for your cooperation over the past 7 or 8 months with what's going on with COVID. But we are facing a new challenge. We're not sure where that's going to take us, but please continue to do what you have done over the past few months. And thank you for your cooperation. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you again. Thank you.